session. So I'm going to start module 4, that is acceptance sampling. So objective of this module is, so students must be able to apply the concepts of acceptance sampling. So we are going to learn a few concepts related to sampling. So these you can apply in future. So for solving problems also you are going to apply these concepts. These are the contents of this module. So introduction, sampling methods, OC curve, producer risk, consumer risk, and there are different sampling plans, single, double, multiple, sequential. So all this we are going to discuss. First, when the sampling come into picture, okay, it will come into picture during inspection. So we are going to perform inspection of products in order to ensure it is of acceptable quality. Okay, so in order to understand or in order to have an idea regarding the quality of the product, so inspection is necessary. Again, in inspection, because of various reasons, we cannot do inspection of all the parts or all the components. Okay, in few cases we should do, in few cases we need not do inspection of all the components. We can pick some samples and we can evaluate the quality of those samples. Based on that, we can make a judgment on the lot. Okay, so this we will do in case of whenever you go for buying vegetables in the market. Okay, so in order to make a decision whether to buy vegetables from a particular vendor or not, okay, people will pick, so one or two. Suppose if they are buying tomatoes, okay, they will pick one or two, and based on that they will make a decision whether to buy from this vendor. Again, if they go to buy fruits, okay, if they want to buy grapes, so they will sort of taste one or two grapes. Okay, so then they will make a decision whether to buy from this vendor or not. Okay, so that is acceptance sampling. So you are picking few samples and you are evaluating quality of those samples. Based on that, you are making a decision whether to accept or reject, and you are not evaluating quality in detail. What you are evaluating is whether to accept or reject. Like when we go for buying vegetables or fruits, okay, we will pick few samples, we will make a judgment, okay, whether to buy from this vegetable vendor or fruit vendor or not. Similarly, so in industries also, so they will make a decision, so based on evaluation of quality of few samples. Okay, so that is acceptance sampling. Okay, inspection of raw materials, semi-finished products or finished products is one aspect of quality assurance. Okay, suppose if you want to, if your intention is to produce quality product, you should ensure that the quality of the raw material is good. Okay, so you may be procuring raw materials from some other company. Okay, now you have to check before using raw material. Next, semi-finished products. Okay, so after completion, partially if you perform few operations, okay, after that also you need to ensure that the quality of the product is good. Okay, then finished products. So quality of a product will be evaluated at different stages. At the beginning, that is during raw material stage, then in between, so that is semi-finished products, then at the end, that is finished products. There are three approaches to lot sentencing. Lot means, so it is like a population. Okay, in a batch, if a company is producing 1,000 units of a product, that 1,000 units is called lot. Okay, if you go to a vegetable vendor, so there will be a lot. So good day iruttala, so that is the lot. So here also, in case of manufacturing, we will consider the products manufactured in a particular batch as a lot. Okay, or we can consider it as a population, entire population. So there are three approaches to lot sentencing. Lot sentencing means it is judgment. So judgment regarding quality of that lot. Okay, whether they are acceptable, whether they need further evaluation. So like that we can make decision. That is called as lot sentencing. So one approach is accept with no inspection. So here you are not doing inspection at all, okay, but you are accepting the lot. So this you can do when the supplier of the raw material or supplier of the semi-finished products. So if he is trustworthy, okay, you are guaranteed that this supplier at any cost he will not supply so defective raw material, so or poor quality raw material. So if you are confident that your supplier at any cost he will not supply poor quality materials, okay, then you can go for acceptance without no inspection. And also if a company is following all quality measures, so such that there is no possibility of okay, so producing defects, then also you can go for no inspection. Or if the cost of inspection, cost or resources which need to be employed to inspect, so if that cannot be that cannot give return, okay, then also it doesn't make sense to go for inspection. You can take risk instead of spending on inspection procedure and rejecting few things. Okay, simply you can accept everything. It depends on the circumstances. Okay, so these are the circumstances are in which you can go for accept with no inspection. Then 100% inspection. That means you are picking each and every unit from the lot and you are making a judgment. So whether to accept or reject, that is 100% inspection. So you are evaluating completely each and every unit of the product. Okay, if 1000 units of a product were manufactured, now you are inspecting all 1000 units. So the problem with this 100% inspection is it will result in time consumption, resources consumption. But nowadays with the help of technology like machine vision and automation technologies, okay, so it is possible for us to do 100% inspection. Okay, if you keep sensors on the conveyor line, so there itself they will inspect the quality of a product. It depends what quality characteristic that can be evaluated automatically using sensors. Okay, so with the sensors, automation and machine vision technology, it is possible to do 100% inspection nowadays. Acceptance sampling. So this module is related to acceptance sampling. That means here you are not evaluating all the units of a product. So you are picking only few and you are evaluating them and you are making a decision regarding lot based on these samples. Based on the quality of these samples, you are making a decision whether to accept a lot or not. So again, the no inspection approach is useful in situations where either the supplier's process is so good that defective units are almost never encountered, or where there is no economic justification to look for defective units. Suppose, so you may be performing inspection to find out defectives out of 1000. Okay, after performing inspection on all 1000 units, if you find only 2 defective, okay, does that make sense? Okay, in order to find 2 defective, you have invested a lot. So is there any economic justification? It may be in terms of retaining the brand value of the product. It may be in terms of, okay, so whether what is the cost of those 2 units. So if the cost of inspection is more than the cost of these 2 defective units, then is there any reason to go for inspection? Okay, like that, there are many considerations. Next, 100% inspection is used in situations where the component is extremely critical and passing any defectives would result in an unacceptably high failure cost at subsequent stages, or where the supplier's process capability is inadequate to meet specification. Okay, so now consider the example of ventilators which are used for treatment of corona patients. Okay, suppose if the ventilator fails, so then it is a huge problem. Okay, in that case you need to make 100% inspection. Okay, so for few products 100% inspection is necessary. It depends on where those components are used, and even the company may be brand conscious or image conscious, so where it doesn't want to leave a single defect. Okay, so then also it can go for 100% inspection using modern technologies, or if it is difficult to perform 100% inspection manually because it will take a lot of time. Okay, that will result in many disadvantages also. Okay, but with advanced technologies we can go for 100% inspection, but for that also there must be a proper justification, like if the components manufactured are critical. Okay, so where you cannot manufacture even a single defective, the consequences are severe. Okay, if defective components are released into market, if the consequences are severe, then companies prefer to go for 100% inspection. Next, acceptance sampling. So here no inspection and 100% inspection, both are extremes in their own way. So in between is acceptance sampling, where you are inspecting, but you are not inspecting all the units manufactured. So you are inspecting only few. You are picking few randomly and you are performing evaluation, or we are making decision based on that. Acceptance sampling is a middle ground between the extremes of 100% inspection and no inspection. When inspection is for the purpose of acceptance or rejection of a product based on adherence to a standard, acceptance sampling inspection procedure is employed. Okay, it is preferable when you are making a decision whether to accept a lot or not. So at that time it is preferable. Acceptance sampling, simply accept or reject a lot. It is used not to inspect quality of the product, but to ensure that the output of a process conforms to requirements. So here we are making judgment based on only few. So out of 1000, if you are picking 10 for evaluating quality, okay, all 10 may have good quality, but in remaining 990 units, so there may be defects. We don't know that. Okay, that's why it is not guaranteed that the quality is good or bad based on this acceptance sampling. It will give an idea. Okay, so that may be reliable or that may not be reliable. Okay, so in few circumstances, so we don't have other choices. So acceptance sampling makes sense than no inspection strategy or 100% inspection strategy. Next, the random sampling concept is extremely important in acceptance sampling. Unless random samples are used, bias will be introduced. Okay, this is another important aspect related to acceptance sampling. So if you are picking 10 out of 1000 units of a product, these 10 should be picked random. Okay, you should not have any prejudices. Okay, while selecting 10 out of 1000, if without any bias, without any prejudice, if you pick 10 randomly, there is more possibility of picking these 10 which will represent all 1000. Otherwise, if you have some bias, okay, you will end up with picking 10, okay, so which will result in accepting a lot. Or if you have a bias to reject the lot, you may be picking 10 which looks like defective, okay, and you may be rejecting that. So that will not give any idea regarding the lot. Okay, in order to have proper picture regarding lot, random sampling should be done. That means a person who is picking samples, he should not have any bias in his mind. Okay, so randomly he should pick. He should close his eyes and he should pick. Okay, like that the approach should be. Okay. Acceptance sampling is useful in the following situations. One is when testing is destructive. Okay, what do I mean by destructive testing? Okay, already we discussed in previous class also. So what do I mean by destructive testing? Why acceptance sampling is preferred for destructive testing? What is the reason? Okay, anyone can answer. The question is, what do you mean by destructive testing and why acceptance sampling is preferred for destructive testing for products which undergo destructive testing? Okay, Gautam. Arshita KC. The question is, what do you mean by destructive testing? Then why acceptance sampling is preferred for products which undergo destructive testing? Okay, anyone can answer for this question. Gagan MN. Gagan. Okay, so if you are not ready to answer, so I will continue. So destructive testing means, so here while testing itself, the product or the component is subjected to failure. That means if you are taking samples for testing, you cannot use those samples further. Okay, they will undergo failure. They will be destructed. Okay, so they will be disposed. So there itself, they will undergo failure. Okay, and we cannot use them further. Okay, suppose if you go for 100% inspection where the testing is destructive, okay, nothing will be left after inspection. That is the problem. Okay, you are destructing all the components. That means these are subjected to failure. In this case, we don't have any other option. Okay, so we should subject only few components for destructive testing, because so we don't get them back. Okay, so they will undergo failure during testing itself. Okay. Next, when the cost of 100% inspection is extremely high, then in that case also we go for acceptance sampling. Then when 100% inspection is not technologically feasible or would require so much time that production scheduling would be seriously impacted. Okay, that means, so there are few quality characteristics which we can measure using sensors. Okay, and we can implement automation technologies for inspection of few quality characteristics of products. In such case, we can go for 100% inspection because it is done automatically. It is suitable for mass production. Okay, suppose if it is not possible to do it automatically, then manually inspecting all units of a product, it will consume lot of time. Suppose if you are evaluating quality of semi-finished product, so that means, so if that is consuming more time. Okay, next, so if in order to do remaining operations, okay, so those workstations or those machines will not get semi-finished products in time. Okay, because of time taken for inspection, if it is more. Okay, so then it is not possible to supply enough number of semi-finished products or semi-finished components for further processing. Okay, so that is the problem. Next, when there are many items to be inspected and the inspection error rate is sufficiently high than 100% inspection might cause a higher percentage of defective units to be passed than would occur with the use of a sampling plan. So that means even error may occur during inspection. Okay, if a person who is in charge of inspection, if he himself is not aware about possible errors during inspection, okay, so finally he may end up with considering good quality products as defective because of error in the inspection, or even defective may be considered as acceptable products because of error in inspection. Okay, so that also should be considered. If you go for 100% inspection and if the error rate is 2%, then that also doesn't make sense. Okay. Next, when the supplier has an excellent quality history and some reduction in inspection from 100% is desired, but the supplier's process capability is sufficiently low as to make no inspection an unsatisfactory alternative. So here you can trust supplier to some extent, but you cannot trust him 100%. So in that case also acceptance sampling is better. When there are potentially serious product liability risks and although the supplier's process is satisfactory, a program for continuous monitoring the product is necessary. Okay, so suppose, so you are guaranteed that supplier is supplying good quality raw material or good quality semi-finished components, but so you cannot take risk of accepting all without inspection, because if there are defectives, okay, so the possible consequences are very severe. In that case also you should go for acceptance sampling. Next, advantages of acceptance sampling. It is usually less expensive because there is less inspection. That means instead of inspecting all units of a product, you are inspecting only few. That means that will consume less resources, less time, less money, less manpower. There is less handling of the product, hence reduced damage. Okay, in order to do inspection also, so you should do some testing. Okay, while testing you may be applying load, so because of that also it may result damage to the component or product. Okay, so if you are handling less number of products while inspection, so you are reducing the damage to that much extent. It is applicable to destructive testing, already we discussed. So if a product is subjected to destructive testing during the inspection, so acceptance sampling is the best approach. Fewer personnel are involved in inspection activities. It often greatly reduces the amount of inspection error, because since you are inspecting only few, again the error also will be less. So if you are inspecting 1000, so you are, if the error percentage is 2%, you are committing twice for 2 units of the product. Okay, so you are making incorrect decision. So instead of testing 100, if you are testing only 10, if the error percentage is 2%, so the probability of making this incorrect decision is only 0.2 units. Okay, the rejection of entire lots as opposed to the simple return of defectives often provides a stronger motivation to the supplier for quality improvements. This is another advantage of acceptance sampling. So you are making a decision by evaluating quality of only few units of a product, but you are making decision regarding entire lot. Suppose if you got few defective and if you reject the lot, okay, then since you are rejecting the entire lot, person who is or company which is supplying those raw material or semi-finished components, okay, so they will become very sensitive. Okay, so they will pay more attention, because so if they take few defectives for granted, so anyhow you are going to reject them. So they will be they will become quality conscious and they will try to supply quality products from next time onwards. Okay, that is another advantage. And also it may lead to disadvantage also, since you are making a decision based on only few. Okay, supplier may be dissatisfied with your approach and you may stop supplying components to you. So there is this disadvantage also. Next, disadvantage of acceptance sampling. There are risks of accepting bad lots and rejecting good lots, because So you are making decision only based on few samples. Okay, so the selected samples may be bad, but remaining units in that lot may be having good quality. But since the randomly picked units, since they are bad, you are considering entire lot as poor quality products. Okay, similarly, so the lot may be having n number of defectives, but so the picked units, okay, they may be good. So now because the units chosen for sampling, sorry, chosen for evaluating quality, because they are good, so we are considering entire lot as having good quality. Okay, so this is one disadvantage. Next, less information is usually generated about the product or about the process that manufactured the product, because so you are making a decision based on only few units of a component or product. Acceptance sampling requires planning and documentation of the acceptance sampling procedure, whereas 100% inspection does not. Okay, so here you have to make a decision. So what should be the sample size? Okay, so if out of 1000, okay, whether to pick 10, whether to pick 50, then what is the approach for selecting this 50? So that it is a random selection. How to eliminate bias? Okay, so these are the considerations. Again, whether to go for single sampling procedure, double sampling, multiple sampling, sequential sampling. So all this need to be documented, and there must be justification for everything in acceptance sampling. Whereas in case of 100% inspection, it is not required because you are inspecting all units of a lot. Okay, next, types of sampling plans. Okay, there are 4 types of sampling plans: single sampling, double sampling, multiple sampling, and sequential sampling plan. Okay, single sampling means, so you are making a judgment based on samples chosen once. Double sampling means you are making a judgment, so after taking samples twice. Okay, so once you will take sample, so you cannot make judgment based on that. Once again you will pick few more units of a sample, then you will make a judgment. Multiple means, so till you are convinced that so you have enough idea regarding quality of the lot, so you will go on picking samples. That is multiple sampling plan. In sequential also, it is the logical extension of multiple sampling, where you are going to pick number of samples one after other. Okay, so every time you will pick one and you will evaluate quality of that one unit. Then you once again you will go on picking one more till you are satisfied that so you have evaluated properly. Okay. Single sampling plan is a lot sentencing procedure in which one sample of n units is selected at random from the lot, and the disposition, that is decision based on that, of the lot is determined based on the information contained in that sample. So you are picking samples. Okay, it may be 10 units, it may be 100 units, but at once you are picking few units from the lot. So that is single sampling, and you are making decision based on that. For example, a single sampling plan for attributes. So already we discussed about variables and attributes. We have plotted charts for variables, data, and attributes. So in case of attributes, so defective or not, okay, accept or reject. So this is attribute data. Okay. So a single sampling plan for attributes, that is for attributes data, that is for qualitative data, not quantitative. Quantitative is variables, qualitative is attributes. A single sampling plan for attributes would consist of sample size n and an acceptance number c. That means, so even you may be ready to accept a lot even it consists of few defectives. Okay, there are circumstances in which you are going to accept a lot even though it consists of few defectives. The procedure would operate as follows. First, select n items at random from the lot. Next, if there are C, that is number of defectives. If there are C or fewer defectives in the sample, accept the lot. And if there are more than C defective items in the sample, reject a lot. So you are ready to accept a lot even though it consists of few defectives. Okay, what is the number? That should be decided based on various aspects. Next, double sampling plan. Double sampling plans are more complicated because you are performing sampling twice to get better understanding of the lot. Following an initial sample, a decision based on the information in that sample is made either to accept the lot, reject the lot, or take a second sample. Okay, so after taking samples once, so if you are not, if you don't have enough information, or if it is not possible for you to come to conclusion regarding whether to accept or reject, then you can go for taking sample once again. Okay, that is take a second sample. In this case, double sampling plan is suitable. Okay, so you have taken sample once, but based on that, so you cannot make a decision. You are not getting any clear picture regarding the lot. So now you will go for taking sample once again so that you will get better understanding, better information regarding lot. If the second sample is taken, the information from both the first and second sample is combined in order to reach a decision whether to accept or reject a lot. So based on samples taken at two different intervals, so you are making a decision. That is double sampling plan. Multiple, so more than 2 times, same approach, but more than 2 times. A multiple sampling plan is an extension of the double sampling concept, in that more than 2 samples may be required in order to reach a decision regarding disposition of the lot. Disposition means it is about whether to accept or reject. So that is disposition of the lot. Making a decision regarding a lot is called disposition. Sample size in multiple sampling are usually smaller than they are in either single or double sampling. Since you are taking samples many times, okay, you can reduce the sample size. Next, sequential sampling plan. The ultimate extension of multiple sampling is sequential sampling, in which units are selected from the lot one at a time, and following inspection of each unit, a decision is made either to accept the lot, reject the lot, or select another unit. So you are picking only one unit. So you are not picking 10 units during a particular interval. So here you are picking only one. You will evaluate, you will make a decision. So if information is not sufficient, once again you will pick one more unit. Like that you will go on picking one unit after another unit till you are convinced that you have better understanding of the lot. Then you will make a decision to accept or reject it. Okay, this is sequential sampling plan. Okay, so remaining I will continue in next class. Okay, so if you have any questions or any doubts, so you can ask.